game that was already an international hit on various computer platforms found its way to the Nintendo Entertainment System. And not just once either. Today, we're going to be taking a look at two versions of the classic game Tetris. The first version was Tengen's take on the game. It's basically a port of Atari's arcade version of Tetris. It sports options such as competitive and co-op modes, which can be played with the computer or with a second player. If you're familiar with Nintendo's version, you'll notice the single-player gameplay is quite different. The buttons only rotate the pieces in one direction, and the controls are quite stiff in comparison. However, the stiffness reminds me more of playing the computer versions just with a controller instead of a keyboard. The levels require 30 lines to advance, so the challenge is more about managing the playfield rather than dealing with ever-increasing speeds. Also, this being a port of the arcade, the scoring is presented quite differently as well, with your line scores being tallied at the end of each level. Visuals aren't as polished or colorful as the Nintendo version, but this version does have more variety of music to choose from. Needless to say, Nintendo wasn't too happy about Tengen releasing this, especially since Nintendo had already secured exclusive console rights to Tetris. Nintendo took legal action against Atari, and the Tengen version was pulled. Less than 100,000 copies of Tengen's Tetris survived the recall, making it a fairly collectible game nowadays. And just a few short months after Tengen's version hit the store shelves, Nintendo's version came out. I'm sure I don't really have to get into too much detail on this one. This is Tetris how most of us remember it. Comparing it to the Tengen version, Nintendo's take on the game is much more polished. There are little post-game cutscenes that get more and more impressive with higher scores. You have A and B type games and 3 choices of music. Really simple. Gameplay-wise, it's good. The controls are responsive and the A and B buttons rotate the pieces in opposite directions of each other, which is quite useful. Also, it seems like the pieces slide before locking into place a little longer in this version. Not as long as some of the computer versions I've played, however. I never really thought about it until I played Tengen's version, but Nintendo could have done a lot more with their version of Tetris. I feel as if the Tengen version of Tetris has given me extra features that I never knew I really wanted, but I think it's great that they're there. When you think about it though, even Nintendo's Game Boy version of Tetris had a competitive mode. In closing, I agree with the people who say that Tengen's version of Tetris is the superior version. But now it's your turn. If you've played the game, let me know what you think. Is it a lot of hype because it's an uncommon game? Or do we really have a better version of Tetris here? Leave a comment down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Take care.